Project Starfish Prime, high-altitude nuclear tests. On the night of July 9, 1962, the skies above the Pacific Ocean lit up with an eerie glow as the United States detonated a 1.4 megaton thermonuclear warhead in the upper atmosphere, 400 kilometers above the Earth. Officially, the test was part of Operation Dominic, a series of nuclear tests aimed at understanding the effects of nuclear detonations in different environments. But buried beneath the public narrative was the real purpose of this operation. Project Starfish Prime was not just a test. It was a calculated experiment to weaponize space, manipulate Earth's magnetosphere, and explore the terrifying consequences of unleashing nuclear energy beyond the confines of the planet. What the public witnessed that night was only the beginning of a dangerous journey that still reverberates through the Earth's magnetosphere today. The true objective of Project Starfish Prime was rooted in Cold War paranoia. By the late 1950s, both the United States and the Soviet Union had begun experimenting with the idea of using high-altitude nuclear detonations to create an electromagnetic pulse, EMP, a phenomenon capable of disabling electronic systems across vast regions. But what U.S. military planners realized was that detonating a nuclear weapon in the upper atmosphere could have effects far beyond creating a temporary EMP. It could manipulate the Earth's magnetic field, potentially creating artificial radiation belts capable of knocking out enemy satellites and disrupting communications on a global scale. Project Starfish Prime was designed to push the boundaries of this dangerous technology. The test was carried out from Johnston Island in the Pacific, with a modified Thor missile carrying the W-49 thermonuclear warhead into the upper atmosphere. As the countdown reached zero, the warhead detonated with a force 100 times greater than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. What followed was unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. The blast released a blinding flash of light, illuminating the night sky and creating an artificial aurora that could be seen as far away as Hawaii and New Zealand. But what the public didn't see was the invisible chaos unfolding in the Earth's magnetosphere. The detonation released a massive burst of charged particles into the upper atmosphere, creating artificial radiation belts that encircled the Earth. These radiation belts, known as killer electrons, lingered for months, posing a threat to both manned and unmanned spacecraft. But the most chilling consequence of Project Starfish Prime was the electromagnetic pulse that followed. Within milliseconds of the detonation, a powerful EMP surged through the atmosphere, disabling streetlights, knocking out telecommunications, and disrupting electrical systems across Hawaii, over 1,400 kilometers away. The EMP was far more powerful than scientists had predicted, demonstrating that a single high-altitude nuclear detonation could cripple an entire region's infrastructure in seconds. What the public didn't know was that Project Starfish Prime was only the beginning. The success of the test led to classified discussions about the potential to use high-altitude nuclear detonations as a first-strike weapon in future conflicts. Military strategists theorized that a coordinated series of detonations in space could create a global blackout, effectively crippling a nation's defenses before a conventional attack could even begin. But the consequences of Starfish Prime extended beyond military strategy. What scientists hadn't anticipated was the long-term damage inflicted on the Earth's magnetosphere. The artificial radiation belts created by the explosion lasted far longer than expected, causing lasting damage to the delicate balance of Earth's protective shield. Satellite systems, including the Telstar-1 communications satellite, were rendered inoperable, and the increased radiation posed a threat to astronauts and future space missions. Even more unsettling were the anomalies that followed in the years after Starfish Prime. Classified reports suggested that the high-altitude detonations had triggered unexpected disturbances in the Earth's magnetic field, disturbances that couldn't be fully explained by known science. Some within the intelligence community feared that Starfish Prime had inadvertently opened a rift in the fabric of space-time, a tear that allowed unknown energies to seep into our reality. Whispers of strange phenomena, unexplained signals, energy anomalies, and even sightings of unidentified objects began to circulate within classified circles. By the 1970s, as the dangers of high-altitude nuclear detonations became clearer, Project Starfish Prime and similar initiatives were quietly shelved. Public pressure and growing concerns about the environmental consequences of nuclear testing led to international treaties banning such activities. But the damage had already been done. The artificial radiation belts created by Starfish Prime lingered for years, and traces of the experiment's effects can still be detected in the Earth's magnetosphere today. As humanity ventures deeper into space, the legacy of Project Starfish Prime serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of tampering with forces beyond our understanding. The scars left by that single detonation continue to haunt the Earth's magnetosphere, and those who know the truth fear that the consequences of that fateful night may still be unfolding. The question that lingers is not just whether we can control the forces we have unleashed, but whether something beyond our comprehension has already taken notice. And if that's the case, what happens when it decides to respond?